Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into DC Dark Legion, the brand new mobile strategy game that's bringing all your favorite DC heroes and villains together. With nearly 50 champions available at launch and even more coming soon, picking the right ones to invest in can definitely feel like a challenge. But don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, we'll break down the top champions in the game and help you figure out which ones are worth your time and resources. We're going to rank the best heroes from S tier all the way down to D tier based on their overall performance in battle. But here's the thing, while individual champions are important, team compositions and synergies matter just as much. So don't forget to check out our guide on creating the perfect teams to maximize your success in DC Dark Legion. Let's get into it and make sure you're building the strongest squad possible. I'm quickly moving on to the video and I'm ranking champions in DC Dark Legion. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of tier list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching.
My friends, only 0.1% of viewers subscribe. If you like this type of content, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you in advance for your support.
The champions in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Shield Squad, Patrolman, Crossbar, Bang Bang, Gatling Gal, Bazooka Bro, Chop Chop, Home Fun, Big Boy, and Good Day AK. The champions in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Stargirl, Black Canary, Catwoman, Penguin, Captain Cold, Bane, Vixen, Martian Manhunter, and Deadshot. Alright, so let's talk about the bottom of the barrel in the DC Dark Legion tier list. The C and D tier heroes. These champions are definitely struggling to make their mark, and honestly, they're not the most reliable choices if you're looking to build a strong team. But hey, every hero has their time to shine, right? Well, these ones might shine in the early game, but once you start leveling up and facing tougher opponents, you'll probably want to replace them pretty quickly. In the C tier, we've got some big names, but unfortunately, they're not living up to their potential. Heroes like Stargirl, Black Canary, and Catwoman are all pretty decent early on, but they just can't keep up as the game progresses. Legendary and mythic heroes like Bane and Martian Manhunter might sound promising, but honestly, they don't bring much to the table in the long run. They're really only useful if you're just starting out, but once you get the hang of things, you're gonna want to swap them out for stronger champions. And then we get to the D tier. The true underdogs. Champions like Shield Squad, Patrolman, and Crossbar are definitely at the bottom of the list. These guys are more for completionists or for those rare moments when you just need something to fill a slot. They're super subpar and won't help much against tougher enemies. So my advice, use them in the early game if you must, but as soon as you can, swap them out for heroes that actually bring the heat. They're not the worst, but you'll quickly realize they won't be pulling their weight in the long run. The champions in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Two-Face, The Atom, Cyborg, Flash, Robin, Killer Croc, Shazam, Robin, Red Hood, Lex Luthor, Nightwing, and Batgirl. Alright, let's dive into the B tier champions in DC Dark Legion. These heroes are definitely not the top of the food chain, but they still have their moments to shine. They can serve as reliable backups or early game picks while you're working your way up to the bigger names. Let's take a look at a few of them. First up, we have The Flash. Now, I'll be honest, he's a decent support hero, but he's far from the best. When you compare him to the likes of Mera, he just doesn't stack up. He can still do some good things early on, but if you're looking for the most effective support, you might want to look elsewhere. But hey, if you've got him, don't sleep on him too much. Just don't expect him to carry you through the later stages of the game. Red Hood is a pretty solid choice for DPS, especially if you get him early on. He's got great damage potential, and if you use him right, he can clear out enemies pretty effectively. Personally, I love having him in my lineup early, but as you progress and unlock stronger heroes, you'll find that he tends to fall off. He's a great stepping stone until you can grab someone a bit more powerful. Then there's Robin, the Assassin. Robin is awesome when you need someone quick to take down a high value target, but when there are tons of enemies on the field, he can start to struggle, especially in the late game. As much as I love Robin's agility and potential, he doesn't quite have the staying power you'll need in the later waves. Still, in those early to mid stages, he's a decent pick if you're looking for some sneaky damage. The champions in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Batman, Green Arrow, Wonder Woman, Raven, Aquaman, Mera, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow, Black Adam, Zatanna, Harley Quinn, and Dr. Fate. Okay, let's talk about some of the absolute powerhouses in the A tier of DC Dark Legion. These champions are the ones you'll want on your team if you're aiming to make a real impact in the game. They bring serious utility, strength, and a bit of flair to your roster. So, buckle up, because we're diving into some of the best heroes and villains the game has to offer. First, let's chat about Batman. This guy is a perfect fit for Justice League teams, and he really shines in Bat Family lineups. His damage output is solid, and his survivability is pretty impressive. He can stick around long enough to deal some serious damage, making him an essential member for players who want to build around that Bat Family synergy. If you're all about teamwork and need a reliable damage dealer who won't go down easily, Batman's your guy. Next, we've got Green Arrow. Now, Green Arrow is your go-to single-target DPS champ. He's super accessible for all players, which makes him an absolute staple for early and mid-game progression. His high critical damage really helps him deal with enemies quickly and efficiently. He fits perfectly into Justice League team comps, and if you're a new player, you'll definitely want to build around him. He's versatile, reliable, and let's be honest, he just looks cool with that bow. Now, if you need a tank who can take some serious hits, Wonder Woman is your best bet. As the best accessible tank outside of Scarecrow, she's much easier to obtain and star up, which makes her an absolute must for free-to-play players. With her shields and incapacitate abilities, she can both protect your team and control the battlefield. Don't sleep on her just because she's a legendary. Wonder Woman is a cornerstone for nearly every team comp, and she can make a huge difference in tough battles. Speaking of utility, let's talk about Raven. She's not the best healer in the game, but when it comes to PvP, she's a total game changer. Raven can swap positions with frontline tanks, which can save them from death at crucial moments. This ability can completely turn the tide of a battle. She pairs incredibly well with energy wielder synergies. But honestly, she does get a little overshadowed by other healers like Green Lantern and Mira. Still, if you want a champion who brings something unique to the table, Raven's worth considering. Then we have Aquaman, who's all about control. Instead of direct damage, Aquaman specializes in setting up AoE attacks and pushing enemies back. On a full Justice League team, he gets a 10% damage boost and an additional 5% HP, which makes him even more valuable in the current meta. He's not the damage dealer you'd normally rely on, but his ability to control the battlefield makes him an essential part of many Justice League teams. Let's not forget about Mera, who is one of the best pure healers in the game. If you're free to play, she's an absolute must-have for your team. While Green Lantern does offer superior healing, Mera is much more accessible as a legendary hero. She heals in a small AoE circle, and although she lacks the team synergies that some other characters offer, her raw healing output is more than enough to make her a key player on your team. Now, let's talk about Poison Ivy. This champion is incredibly versatile and can both heal and deal damage. What makes Ivy especially fun to use is how she distracts enemies with her vines, making them waste their ultimates on her instead of your main heroes. She also brings crowd control, which can be super handy when facing tough enemies. If you've got Joker, Dr. Hafi, or Mera on your team, Ivy pairs really well with them, and she can be a game changer if used correctly. And finally, Scarecrow. If you want the strongest tank in the game, Scarecrow is the way to go. His synergy with both Legion of Doom and Arkham's Most Wanted makes him incredibly versatile, letting you mix and match with different team compositions. He's got excellent survivability and can hold the line while your damage dealers take care of business. Scarecrow is the perfect tank to pair with powerful teammates like Ivy, Joker, or even Lex Luthor to create a nearly unstoppable team. These A-tier champions are the heavy hitters you'll want to focus on. Whether you're building around a Justice League team, controlling the battlefield, or dishing out some serious DPS, these champions have what it takes to get you through the toughest battles in DC Dark Legion. The champions in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Superman, Joker, Green Lantern, Deathstroke, and Sinestro. Okay, buckle up because we're about to talk about the absolute best champions in DC Dark Legion, the S tier. These characters are the cream of the crop, the ones you want to prioritize if you're looking to absolutely dominate the game. From the most insane damage dealers to the top tier healers, these champions bring their A game, and you'll definitely want to have them in your lineup. Let's start with Superman. Oh man, where do I even begin? Superman is currently the top damage dealer in the game, and for good reason. As a mythic hero, he is a must-have if you can get your hands on him. His freeze ability is a total game changer, allowing you to temporarily disable enemies, giving you precious breathing room to deal damage. And if that wasn't enough, his heat ray reduces enemy defense, which just amplifies his already insane damage output. If you're going to invest resources into any champion, Superman should definitely be at the top of your list. He's the ultimate powerhouse. Then there's Joker, who isn't just a chaotic trickster, he's a damage over time machine. Joker shines in PvE content, especially when things start to get tough. His ability to stack damage over time can melt through enemies, making him a solid pick for challenging stages. What's even better is how well he pairs with other high-tier champions like Batman, Harley Quinn, and more. This synergy just makes him even stronger, and it's a big reason why he's sitting comfortably in the S tier. If you're looking for a healer, look no further than Green Lantern. He's hands down the best healer in the game. Green Lantern's healing capabilities are absolutely unmatched, and if you're playing through some tough battles, his ability to keep your team alive is priceless. But he's not just a healer, his 2-second stun ability is a game changer too, giving you that extra bit of control in battles. And if you happen to have other Justice League champions like Superman, Green Arrow, and Wonder Woman, you're in for a treat. The Justice League synergy boosts your champion's ATK and HP by 15% and Tiflin, which just makes your team even more unstoppable. Next, we've got Deathstroke, and I know what you might be thinking. Wait, Deathstroke in S tier? But trust me on this one, he's one of the most powerful single target damage dealers in the game. Deathstroke is a master at taking out high priority targets quickly, thanks to his kit that lets him jump behind enemy lines and tear through the vulnerable backline characters. While you might expect a champion like this to be more of an A tier pick, his ability to eliminate key enemies efficiently lands him in the S tier. Don't sleep on him. Now, let's talk about Sinestro, the best magical damage dealer in the game. If you're looking to wipe out entire enemy teams in one go, Sinestro is your guy. His AoE ultimate can completely obliterate enemies when fully invested, making him invaluable when it comes to clearing waves of enemies. His ability to consistently deal high damage across multiple targets means he's a cornerstone for any team. Plus, if you're building a team around the energy wielder synergies, he's an absolute must-have. Pair him with other Legion of Doom characters, and you'll see his energy restoration speed up, making him even more deadly. What's amazing about all of these champions is that they each bring something unique to the table. Whether it's Superman's insane damage potential, Joker's ability to melt through enemies with damage over time, Green Lantern's unmatched healing and crowd control, or Deathstroke's precision strikes, these champions are the backbone of any successful team in DC Dark Legion. And Sinestro? Well, he's the magical powerhouse you need to obliterate anyone who stands in your way. If you've got these champions on your roster, consider yourself lucky. They're the best of the best, and investing in them will take your gameplay to the next level. So, whether you're just starting out or you've been playing for a while, make sure these S tier champions are front and center in your strategy. Trust me, you won't regret it. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.